And welcome everyone to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado at Invesco Field at Mile High as the New York Jets take on the first place Denver Broncos. With Randy Cross, this is Kevin Harlan, and our game today is being brought to you in high definition. It is a perfect day for football. The temperature in the low 60s. There is a slight breeze. The Jets have won the toss and they will receive. Herman Edwards is in his 5th season as the coach of the New York Jets. And Mike Shanahan is in his 11th season as the coach of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos won in Oakland last week, 31-17. And Todd Sauerbrunn, one of the best kickers in the business, especially punting, will set to boot this off. And the Jets losing last week with 6 turnovers in Carolina, 30-3. It's the Denver Broncos. It's the New York Jets with rookie Justin Miller looking up into that bright Colorado sky inside the 5. Hit by Alexander and then brought down on the play by Pema. And so the return is 21 yards on the play. Well, what do you expect this afternoon?
Well, 2 things. One, for the Denver Broncos, this is a classic trap game. In fact, last 2 years in November, they've come into games just like this and stumbled against teams they really should beat. It's happened twice. Will it happen again? I don't know, but I know New York Jets are going to be very conservative. A lot of injuries in their offensive line and offense in general. They can't take many chances on the offensive side of the ball.
Jets will begin at the 22-yard line with youngster Brooks Bollinger as the quarterback. And the end around goes to Justin McCarron's, the ex-Tennessee Titan, who is shoved out of bounds near the 30-yard line by Ferguson. It is an 8-yard run. The Jets offense is number 30, and Bollinger makes his 3rd career start today. He threw 4 picks last week at Carolina. Right guard Brandon Moore is the only Jet offensive starter who has stayed in the same position all season long. And with 26 rushing yards today, Curtis Martin will go over 14,000 in his career, the 4th running back to do so. 2nd down and 2. A block by Gregg and a throw which is caught by Lavernius Coles at the 46. The tackle made by Darren Williams, gain of 17, and a New York first down. The Denver defense is number 23, anchored on the defensive line by Gerard Ward. Linebacker DJ Williams in his 2nd season in a very fast linebacking group. And rookie cornerback Darren Williams has been a starter in the secondary most of the season, as well as a dangerous return man. This is Curtis Martin on 1st and 10, nearing midfield, and brought down by the Pro Bowler John Lynch on a gain of 3.
And what makes this Jet football team a trap team for the Denver Broncos is very simple. They do have all the injuries, they do have all the negatives, but offensively, if they are conservative, if they don't make mistakes, the Jets have a defense that can deal with the Broncos offense.
First drive of the game, 50-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Martin again, the 11-year veteran, and hit and brought down by Michael Myers near midfield, about a gain of a yard. And in fact, he moves into Denver territory.
And these are the situations that Herman Edwards would rather his quarterback Brooks Bollinger not get into. And you can start talking about 3rd and long. You're going to get this defensive Larry Coyers for Denver in a situation where you're going to get all sorts of looks up front. Bollinger is going to see all sorts of looks. He's going to get zone blitzes. He's going to get a lot of blitzes. 7, 8 guys coming after him.
Dominic Foxworth is the 5th defensive back. Michael Myers still on that line. Ekuban has come in, 3rd and 6, as they go outside on a pass caught by Coles and brought down by Champ Bailey. It's a loss in the play of 2 on that 3rd and long. So now it's 4th, and they got a punt with the ball back at the 49-yard line.
If you're going to take chances defensively, what you really need are very sure tackling defensive backs, and you saw a great example of a corner making a nice tackle by Ty Law there.
The punter is Ben Graham, who is a rookie from Australia, and there's another rookie, Darren Williams, out of Oklahoma State. On the snap by Dearth, and Williams will let it bounce in front with a great spin. And at about the 4-yard line, it is down by the Jets. Myers down there, a 47-yard boot, which brings us to the number 4 offense, led by quarterback Jake Plummer, who hasn't thrown an interception in 7 games. The center is Tom Nalen, the best on the Bronco offensive line. And the running backs, Anderson and Bell, are both on pace for 1,000-yard seasons.
Against this offensive line, it's very important for the Jets defense to maintain their gap discipline, because this offensive line will suddenly move and sprint in either direction. You've got to be in the proper gap, or they will gash you, separate you, and spring their running backs for huge gains.
Anderson remains in the backfield from the 5. It is 1st and 10 for Jake Plummer, dumping it off to the aforementioned Anderson. Brought down by Jonathan Vilma, spinning at the 14-yard line on a gain of 9. The Jets defense is 11th ranked in the National Football League, and defensive end John Abraham leads that Jet defense with 5 sacks, while linebacker Jonathan Vilma, who just made the tackle there, leads the Jets in tackles this season. And rookie cornerback Justin Miller starts again for the injured David Barrett. Barrett out with an eye injury. 2nd down and 1 from the 14. Mike Anderson, the former rookie of the year, and he's brought down by Vilma. Great tackle made, 19-yard line, but it is a gain of 5 and a 1st down at the 19. And let's talk about your crosstalk today.
A few things to watch for. Hold on to the ball for the Jets. Don't have the turnovers. This is what turned that game last week into a rout. And for the Denver Broncos, pretty easy. Stay with your blueprint. That's big plays on the defensive side of the ball, consistent receivers, and the best running game in the league.
No changes defensively or offensively. First possession for the Broncos, 19-yard line. It is 1st and 10. Plummer goes to Rod Smith, the 35-year-old wide receiver, works his way to the 31. Justin Miller and Mark Brown are there. It is a gain of 12 and another 1st down.
You have to love the work ethic and the attitude that Rod Smith brings to the field every week. And what he does is he gives these younger players something to look at, something to model themselves out after, as far as work ethic, when you get there, how you work, how you prepare yourselves for games. He's been very selfless as a Bronco, and he's got a couple Super Bowl rings to prove it.
Back of the football, touching the 31. It is a 1st down. Play action by Jake Plummer, the straight. And he throws again. Smith again with the catch. The touch made on him by Eric Coleman. Gain of 14 on the heels of a 12-yard reception. Another 1st down up to the 45.
And the one thing about Rod Smith, you have to remember how old this guy is. I mean, he got into the league some time ago. He's a member of the over 35 club for wide receivers in this league, and he hasn't slowed down. He's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league also.
Smith is now out. They brought in Todd DeVoe. They're at the bottom of your screen. The tight end Putzier is on the top of your screen. And this is Mike Anderson, who crawls his way to the 48-yard line. Victor Hobson was there along with James Reed. Gain of 3.
When we talk about that over 35 club for receivers in this league, it's actually a pretty good group of receivers. Jimmy Smith having another solid year. McCardell having another solid year down in San Diego. And Rod Smith. Smith, though, he's got the ability not only to block and mess with defensive backs, he also has the ability to get down the field. Ashley Lee was brought here as the big down-the-field home run threat, and Rod Smith is still.
Adams and DeVoe, the 2 receivers, 2nd down and 7. One tight end is Alexander. The handoff goes to Anderson. Big cut inside before he's brought down by Hobson. So after that gain of 7 and a gain to the 45-yard line and another 1st down by the Denver Broncos, we welcome those of you watching the Oakland Raiders with a big win over the Redskins in the nation's capital with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. This is Denver's first possession today. The first-place Broncos up by 2 games coming into today in the West. The Jets come in at 2-7. They've had the ball once, and New York punted after 5 plays. Denver began this drive at the 5, now at the 45. 7th play coming up. It's 1st and 10 for quarterback Jake Plummer. With play action, the fake went to Tatum Bell. And being chased by Brian Thomas and brought down by Mark Brown after a scramble of 7 to the 38 of the New York Jets.
And what we've seen so far out of this Denver offense is something that AFC West opponents have gotten used to seeing on a pretty regular basis. Very balanced, excellent play calling by Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan. And this Denver team has gotten off to a great start and enjoys a nice lead on those Chargers. And this might be the best team that Mike Shanahan's put on the field since those Super Bowl teams with John Elway in the late 90s.
Bell remains in the backfield. DeVoe is out there with Rod Smith. 2nd down and 3, 38-yard line. Boha has now come on the defensive line for the Jets. This is Tatum Bell out of Oklahoma State, brought down by New England State Lance Legree at about the 36 on a gain of 2. And this is the AFC East.
Importantly, though, the New England Patriots winning today against New England, improving to New Orleans, improving to 6-4, and that 2-0 record in the division will be very important because I don't think anybody's going to run away with that division. New England is not going to win this division by a whole lot.
Johnson, Legree, Boha, along with Ellis on the defensive line of the Jets. 3rd and 1, 9th play of the Broncos drive from the 36. This is Tatum Bell, who is averaging more yards per carry than any other running back in the NFL. Picking up 4 down to the 32-yard line, and he was brought down by both Ellis and Vilma.
And the main reason Tatum Bell is averaging those yards and Mike Anderson is getting the yards he's getting is that offensive line. This offensive line, very undersized by NFL standards, but they run coordinated blocking schemes that most teams in this league can't run because they are smaller and they do move so well.
Johnson just taken out. Abraham put back on the defensive line. A first down, 32-yard line. A couple tight ends here for Plummer. And Legree is at the feet of Plummer, but the quarterback got it off to Bell, and it was incomplete with the coverage by Vilma in the linebacking core.
And it's a testament to the Denver Broncos offensive line of the success of those two running backs. And for a point of reference, through 9 games with 2 running backs over 600 yards, that Mercury Morris Larry Zonka duo, they're both actually finished their season that year with both over 1,000 yards. It's very, very doable for this duo here in Denver, the way they run the ball so consistently.
Now Reed and Robertson are back on the Jet defensive line. 2nd down 10, 32-yard line. Anderson in the backfield. And the call. Former leading rusher in the WAC conference slithers his way past the 30 and is brought down by Reed. They'll mark him at about the 29 with a gain of 2 yards.
So, this Jets defense is doing something that they're very used to, and that's being on the field a lot. Very important for this Jets offense to keep the ball. They kept it 5 plays last time. They have to keep it at least 6, 7, 8 plays for Herman Edwards so that Donnie Henderson's defense doesn't spend the entire game on the field.
3rd and 8. They brought in Derek Strait and Celestin into the defensive backfield, so 6 back there. 3rd and 8. The 3rd receiver is Charlie Adams out of Hofstra. And here's a block by Anderson in time for Plummer, and he overshoots Lee, who is covered by Law, and there was a late hit by Celestin, and there's a flag down at about the 16-yard line.
This will be a little pass interference for a tug on the jersey coming from behind on Law.
Prior to the pass, holding, 24, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Long is the most heavily penalized defensive back for the Jets.
And Herman Edwards points that out pretty quickly when you talk to him. And yeah, it's something this defense, we talk about them not being on the field so much. Whatever down it is, 2nd down, they have a hard time really holding the other team to what you want to be, which is about 3 yards. But this defense needs to get off the field. You call it 3rd down, call it interceptions, call it whatever you want. But there's 6 first downs just on this drive. That's not getting off the field.
Legree has come back on the defensive line for Reed. It is a first down, 25-yard line. Back to 4 defensive backs for the Jets. Plummer. And that is caught with a hit by Justin Miller on receiver Rod Smith. And it's a gain of 11. And on this drive, Smith has had catches of 11 right there, 12 and 14 yards. Another first down, 14-yard line.
Young receivers, check it out. You look it in, you squeeze it, you know that hit's coming. Defensive backs can celebrate all the big hits they want, but with a receiver like Rod Smith, you're not going to knock that ball loose.
Jets have had it once. They punted after 5 plays. Broncos began on their 5. They've moved now to the 14, where it's 1st and 10, and they empty the backfield with Anderson on the move. 2 tight ends in for Plummer. He throws to one of them, Steven Alexander, the former Detroit Lion and Washington Redskins 2nd-round pick. He's down to the 5. He picks up 9, and he's brought down on the play by Brown.
This is typical Denver Broncos offensive football. Just a lot of rhythm. 2nd guy in right there is the receiver. But this is typical Bronco football. It's almost like a dance step. It's 7 runs. It's 6 pass. and it's got such a rhythm and feel to it. It's what Bronco fans have come to love.
Trevor Johnson back on that defensive line, second one at the 5. 2 tight ends in for Plummer. Here comes Tatum Bell, brought down by Victor Hobson at the 5 with little gain. In fact, no gain on the play. As we're under 4 minutes on Denver's first drive of the game.
Yeah, Herman Edwards made a point yesterday that is really coming out to be kind of prophetic statement about this being about an 8-possession game. And he thought that because of what you're seeing from Denver. Denver, when they get it, runs the ball so much, holds on to it so long, that the number of possessions in a game are severely cut down.
4 in the secondary. The Broncos on their first drive of the game have held it for over 8 minutes. 3rd down and 1. Anderson is back in from the 5. That's Putzier, the tight end in motion, who offers a block for Anderson, who was tripped up by Robertson and then brought down by Trevor Johnson near the 2-yard line. Gain of 3 and a first down.
Watch the coordination inside, center, backside guard, onside guard. It's like a dance. Being an offensive lineman in this system, you're not going straight ahead that often. You're more often than not just going sideways, moving the line of scrimmage. And the running back's job is to find those gaps when you create the soft spots.
Broncos will have 2 tight ends. The Jets will have 5 down defensive linemen. Legree and Abraham just brought back in. Nice fake by Plummer to the end zone. Incomplete, looking for Kyle Johnson, who is covered by Hobson. And there is no yellow on the field. And looks like Ellis may have tagged Plummer.
Well, and Hobson might have gotten away with a little tug there off the fake to Anderson. He gets tagged by Ellis, but Hobson had a little tug on Johnson that prevented him from getting his hands up. But it was right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing illegal about that.
So operating with 3 defensive backs. That's no change now for the Jets. At the 1, 2nd and goal, 17th play of the drive coming up. And 2 tight ends atop your screen with Anderson in the backfield and Putzier in motion. Mike Anderson knifing his way into the end zone for the Denver Broncos and a touchdown.
Either the defense shows you a soft spot or you make a soft spot. Watch the Denver offensive line right here make a soft spot in the Jets defense. Pretend you're the running back. You get the ball, see that spot? There's no debate as where you're going. It's an excellent job up front by that coordinated effort by the Broncos offensive line.
Rushing touchdown number 6 this season for Mike Anderson, a 17-play drive. And Jason Elam will try the extra point. And taking up a lot of time in this first quarter with the hold from Jake Plummer, one of the very few starting quarterbacks who holds on placements. There were some big receptions on that drive by Rod Smith. He caught 1 pass for 11, another for 12, and Rod Smith had a 3rd big reception on that long 17-play drive of 14 yards, and it culminates in a 1-yard touchdown burst by Anderson.
Key block is Matt Lepsis right here, working on Legree, the defensive tackle, number 70. Check this out. That helps create the soft spot. Chop block with a little cut. Defensive lineman can't pursue down the line, can't make that late hit. They're not the biggest line in the league. They're definitely not the biggest line the Jets will face this year, but there's no one in the league does it better than these guys.
The Denver Broncos coming into today have won 2 consecutive games. The New York Jets come in having lost 4 straight, including 6 consecutive regular season games on the road. 17-play drive. What a way to begin for the first-place Broncos.
And an excellent example, Kevin, of the Denver Bronco formula that worked so well in '97 and '98. Again,
Super Bowl seasons.
Exactly. Offense, running the ball, consistent passing, defense shutting the other guys down and making big plays, and the quarterback not having to be a huge star. Jake Plummer's being what John Elway was in his 2 Super Bowl years. He's a playmaker maintaining the offense.
And if there's a difference, Randy, between this team and those teams that we saw win the Super Bowl back in the late 90s?
I'm not sure. This one's, I think, is deep. It really is at all positions. They're able, and mainly because they have depth, they haven't had any injuries.
Right.
You know, they and a few other teams in this league haven't had any injuries.
Kickoff by Sauerbrunn after the 1-yard touchdown run. This is the rookie Miller from the goal line. He's out of Clemson, and he was banged on the play by reserve fullback Cecil Sapp. He drills him after a 25-yard return. It's out to the 25-yard line, so the Jets will get it for a second time. And so we see Baltimore and Pittsburgh in OT. Baltimore is really struggling. Pittsburgh has been great on the road.
What is it about Pittsburgh brings out the best in the Ravens?
Remember, it was that game last year in Baltimore where Roethlisberger became the starting quarterback when Maddox got hurt.
And Giants fans got to love the fact that Eli Manning and the Giants came back and beat Philadelphia and pretty much put any thoughts of the Eagles being in the postseason to sleep.
From the 25, the second Jets possession. First down and 10. Bollinger with some play action to Martin. And the pass to Gerald Soule, who is brought down by Williams, the rookie. The gain is to the 32. Beautiful day here in the Rockies. Second down and 3 from the 32. Bollinger falls down. And then falling on top of him is the hefty Michael Myers. Loss of 4, back to about the 27.
Did you see the late shifting by the Denver defense? It looked like in a lot of ways it disrupted what the Jets wanted to do. Everybody started hurrying. Pete Kendall ends up stepping on Brooks Bollinger's feet. That's what knocks him down. The shift in the line put Kendall in a position that he really wasn't comfortable in. There's Vinny Testaverde, the number 2 backup today. And
third down and 6. Foxworth is a 5th defensive back. Ekuban is on the line. Hatchery has come in as a 3rd receiver for Bollinger. And there's a block on Ekuban by Gregg, but there goes a very good running quarterback in Bollinger, and belted out of bounds by the middle linebacker Al Wilson. Close to a first down, and a gain of about 5.5, 6. He's near the 36-yard line.
Yeah, they got a first down, I think.
Good.
And this is what Brooks Bollinger has to do. He has to get the first down, stay on the field. Obviously you want points. But more importantly for the Jets offense is to get some consistency, get some sort of rhythm. They just watched a very rhythmic Denver offense. This is the kind of play that scares Mike Shanahan to death about Brooks Bollinger, his ability to get out of the pocket and scramble.
Myers has come back on the defensive line. 4 now in the secondary for the Broncos. It is 1st and 10 for Bollinger. Pocket down, and he goes down too. 30-yard line. That was Al Wilson who came through, and Bollinger is hurt. Bollinger is down. A loss of 4 back to the 30-yard line. And slowly getting up. Al Wilson with the sack, and that is his 2nd sack of the season.
Excellent job up front. Watch the front just collapse on the quarterback with the blitz and everything else coming from the outside, but it starts as a pocket. Brooks Bollinger has a pocket, and the pocket goes away.
Second down 15, no changes either way, 30-yard line. Here comes the blitz by Ferguson, and Bollinger going deep and looking for McCarrons, and stride for stride with him was the 5-time Pro Bowler Champ Bailey. It'll be 3rd and 15.
Well, Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, a while back they played Philadelphia here at Invesco Field, and they just blitzed the heck out of Donovan McNabb, put everybody else on notice for the rest of this year that they are going after you. And Larry Coyer there with the gray hair in the middle with a headset is coming after Brooks Bollinger right now. He saw the thing he didn't want to see. He didn't want to see Brooks get out and run. Well, it's going to be hard to get out and run if they got 8 guys coming after your backside.
Hatchery is the 3rd wide receiver, 3rd and 15. Foxworth in the secondary is a 5th defensive back. They've got to get to the 46. The pass goes to Doug Jolly. The former Raider is belted on the play by Darren Williams. It's a gain of 5. The gain is to the 35, and for a 2nd consecutive possession, the New York Jets have got a punt, which will take us to the end of the first quarter. Mike Anderson had a 1-yard touchdown run on Denver's first possession, marching 17 plays and 95 yards. The Jets, who have lost 4 straight games, trailing Denver 7-0.
Darren Williams, what a great job making that tackle, getting ready on that 3rd down, getting the Jets offense off the field, and now he gets to turn around and return himself a kick, and this is where he can really add the big play to this Denver football team.
Absolutely.
Very important now for Ben Graham, the rookie punter for the New York Jets. He's in altitude, probably for the first time. Get this thing high. This is about height of your punt in this in these conditions, not length, because you can definitely outkick your coverage. You can give your coverage a 20-yard cushion you don't want to give them if you kick it too far and let Darren Williams get a running start.
Of course, Graham played the 14 seasons. This is a long story for the New York fans who have watched this guy punt all season long. The Australian Rules Football League player comes to the States. He goes to the Ray Pelfrey Kicking School to learn how to punt in the NFL. He tries out for 4 different teams: the Giants, the Patriots, the Vikings, and the Jets. And here is where he sticks, and here is where he punts this year.
Have we ever had a time in the NFL with so many left-footed kickers, left-footed punters?
There seem to be a lot of them.
It used to be unique that a left-footed punt would go out there and have that different spin on it for returners, but now there seems to be, about one a month for most returners, so it's not that unique anymore.
So Graham, who is averaging 44 yards a punt, will let this one fly. There is very little wind inside the stadium here to speak of, so it won't really be a factor. Unlike last week when we saw gusty winds all over the NFL in Chicago and in Buffalo, but today it's very calm here in Denver.
But in warm-ups, we were seeing a lot of 5-second plus hang times. And that's exactly what he has to do right now. Graham has to have a 5-second plus hang time.
So Graham gets it away, and Williams goes and chases it back to about the 7-yard line. He had 9 returns for touchdowns in college. He is brought down by Rashad Washington, among others, along with Joel Dreesen, a reserve tight end. Return of 4, 57-yard punt, hang time 4.4 seconds. From the 11-second possession for Plummer, and the handoff goes to Mike Anderson, who takes it near the 15-yard line, hit by Eric Coleman. 2 years out of Washington State on a gain of about 4.
It's just defense right now. I mean, right now, Jonathan Vilma, Ty Law, John Abraham, the leaders of this Jets defense, have to figure out a way to get this Broncos offense out of this rhythm and the heck off the field.
Starters are out there for the Jets. No changes. 2nd down 5. And the ball is at the 15. Alexander is the tight end. Mike Anderson again. He hurdles over Coleman, and then he is stopped in the secondary by Miller. He is at about the 26-yard line and going for a gain of 9.
This is just another good example. Excellent blocking up front. Look at the gap in front. You and I could figure out how to run there. I mean, the only person in the shot was Eric Coleman, a safety, moving the wrong direction as Mike Anderson was cutting back.
Another tight end, Putzier, has been brought in to be coupled with Alexander. 1st down and 10. Plummer, and that's caught by Putzier. He's out to midfield, and he is brought down on the play by the rookie Kerry Rhodes out of Louisville. 26-yard pickup. He had a great season, Putzier did last year, and the Jets made a $12 million offer to him during the offseason, which the Broncos eventually matched.
And that's how they ended up with Doug Jolly out of Oakland. But Putzier is a guy in the plus area and coming out that they love to take advantage of. He's a huge target for Jake Plummer, and you're seeing Jake Plummer play right now as well at the quarterback position as you can play in this offense.
DeVoe and Adams along with 2 tight ends out there from the 49 of the Jets. 1st and 10 with an empty backfield. That's DeVoe, grabbed by Ty Law. DeVoe is on a Division II Central Missouri, up and off that practice squad in a gain of 9. And the gain is to about the 40-yard line. Look at the time of possession.
Little out of whack. So's a number of plays. And I mentioned earlier about Jake Plummer and the whole analogy with John Elway. And, this is one of the places, if you're a quarterback, it's tough to play. You don't want to follow Montana and Young in San Francisco or Marino in Miami, and certainly Elway in Denver, but Jake Plummer's doing a nice job this year of sort of living down to the expectations.
No New York defensive changes. The new entrant in the game is the guy with the ball. That's Tatum Bell, who is brought down by Victor Hobson out of Michigan. Gain of 5, 1st down run to the Jet 35.
And it's not like Jake has to be the John Elway of the drive and all the huge plays. Let's be realistic. He's 0-2 when it comes to playoff games, but not this version of Jake Plummer. He's playing now like John Elway played the last 2 years when he had the running game in Terrell Davis, when he had that big play defense, when he had the returns on the special team side. He's 7 of 9 to 5 different receivers right now.
2 tight ends for Plummer. No changes defensively for the Jets. 35, 1st and 10. Good block by Lepsis, the left tackle, and off the fingertips of Bell, who was covered on the side, and a flag is down. Miller was on the coverage across the way.
It's going to be a little illegal contact down here past the 5-yard line, or the 5-yard area.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Second penalty on Long.
There's a person here, and we were just speaking of Mr. Elway. Casts a pretty long shadow when it comes to Denver Bronco football.
When John Elway was a rookie, his second interception was picked off by Herman Edwards of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Which dovetails perfectly into the fact that Jake Plummer hasn't thrown an interception in about 7.5 games almost now.
1st and 10. This is Denver's second possession. First one, 17 plays, 1-yard Anderson touchdown run. Anderson with the block here for Plummer, and it goes across the middle, which Ashley Lilly pulls down at the 21-yard line. The tackle is made by Vilma. It's a gain of 9 to New York and Greg Gumbel.
Kevin, thank you. Here's how it ended in Baltimore today. From 44 yards out with 4:09 to play in overtime, Matt Stover gives the Ravens a 16-13 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kevin and Randy, back to you.
Well, it's been a long time since Pittsburgh has lost on the road. In fact, their last loss may have been to Baltimore last year. 2nd down and 1 in Baltimore at the 21-yard line. LeGree is on the defensive line, as is Brian Thomas, new entrance for the Jets. And he slings it out for Lilly, who drops it. A 1,000-yard receiver a season ago. Lilly drops it, making it 3rd and 1.
You see the way Jake threw that pass? He comes out on that little boot. Don't emulate that if you're a young quarterback. It's kind of like, well, seriously, it's like Brett Favre.
Right.
But that's one of the things that Mike Shanahan saw about Jake Plummer when he was at Arizona, when he became available as a free agent. It's the ability not only in the pocket to make the big plays, but when you get out of the pocket, it's that intangible and those adjustments and the improv that make this offense now so dangerous.
LeGree remains on the line, 4 in the secondary. 3rd down and 1, 21 of the Jets. Second Denver possession. Mike Anderson bulldozing his way in. Looked like Victor Hobson got a handle on him after a gain of a yard near the 19-yard line.
Well, he's got a 1st down there. That'll make him 3 for 3 today on 3rd and short like that.
Boy, do they look good on offense.
They do, and it's about the rhythm. You know, I've been talking a lot about
point.
Jake Plummer, but Gary Kubiak upstairs, the offensive coordinator, Pat McPherson, the quarterback coach, Mike Shanahan on the sideline, they script their plays. And it gives the players such confidence, but, you know, scripts don't get rhythm. Players get rhythm. Offense has rhythm. And this one's dancing right now.
Robertson comes in for LeGree on the Jets' defensive line. Adams and Smith, the receivers. 9th play of the drive. 1st down. They toss it out to Mike Anderson. A block by Hamilton, and it was blown up by James Reed near the 14-yard line on a gain of 5.
And the analogy I always use with offenses is kind of like boxing. And right now, this Jets defense is getting kind of tired because they're not facing a puncher.
Right.
They're facing a boxer, and they're getting that left jab in the face and a little bit of body work down low. And Herman Edwards is seeing the Denver Bronco offense spread the ball around to a lot of different people with that rhythm, with that jab. But there's always the chance with guys like Lilly and Smith and Anderson and Bell of the home run, the big hit, the knockout.
Trevor Johnson on that defensive line. 2nd down and 5. It's Tatum Bell. And he's down to about the 11-yard line. Brought down by the aforementioned Trevor Johnson. It's a gain of 3 to the 11-yard line.
So far, Jake Plummer's been relatively flawless. So well over 200 passes in a row now without an interception. And that's a lot of luck. You know, I'm not going to tell you who hasn't thrown some balls that should have been intercepted, where he hasn't hit people right in the hands. But 205 in a row without an interception.
Justin Miller just took himself out of the game, and Derek Strait has taken his place. 4 in the Jets secondary, 3rd down and 2, 11-yard line, Bell in the backfield, and 2 tight ends for Jake Plummer. And here comes Bell out of Oklahoma State, and torn down after a meager gain of a half yard. And the aforementioned Derek Strait, the Nagurski Award winner, brings him down. He's out of Oklahoma, and a gain of about inches, literally inches. So now it'll be 4th down.
And it's going to be 4th down because of the job that Strait does. You know, that is an example of good open field tackling. We've seen Ty Law do it. We've seen some other corners in this game do it. But when you get wide open, you've got to make that tackle one-on-one. And Shanahan is going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
Mike Anderson is in. 2 tight ends. Putsier is the second tight end. Hand off to Anderson. And a great play by Jonathan Vilma. But I think he got enough for the first down. Vilma got him, but Anderson is so strong. Dragged him along. It'll be close.
The initial hit stopped him. But no one got that memo to the running back, to Bell. He just kept going after Vilma gave him that shot.
Anderson is such a strong running back.
Watch Anderson's feet. They're going to stop when he gets hit. See, stop now. Now they keep going. Bang, bang, bang. They just keep going, and suddenly Vilma ends up behind the guy that he hit right in the face.
Well, it was a 17-play, which resulted in a touchdown run of a yard by Anderson the first possession. This is the 13th play of this drive at the 9, 1st and goal. The second tight end is Putsier. And Anderson from Plummer. And let's see, Ellis is in there along with a bunch of other defensive linemen, including Legree, gain of 2 down to the 7.
Well, if this was a trap game like we talked about earlier, the only trap right now is being snapped onto the backs of the New York Jets by the Denver Broncos. This Bronco football team was ready to go. They're being physical. They're being smart. They're handling things the right way. And you can see there's a lot of heavy breathing going on the Jets side because this Broncos offense is just dominated time of possession and play.
Yeah, Miller, the rookie, had to take himself out, and Strait is still in there. 1 of 4 defensive backs. Second down goal at the 7. 2 tight ends remain. And Anderson hit by Vilma and brought down, the rookie of the year a season ago in the National Football League on defense. Watches Anderson plow into him for 4, down to about the 3. Miller, the rookie, is back in there and taking the place of Strait. What drives? I mean, I'm like 6 minutes. We're coming up on 6 minutes remaining in this first half.
And that's why Herman Edwards was so afraid of this Denver offense, because he knew his offense to start with wasn't that good. He knew his defense is the strength of his team, but this Denver Bronco football team just won't get off the field.
2 tight ends and Anderson in the backfield. 3rd and goal at the 3. And Plummer loses his helmet and goes down. It was torn off by Abraham, and then Plummer was brought down by Law, and the Jets hold him out. The Broncos' first sack allowed in the last 9 quarters, and the mountain man Plummer can't get his team in for 6.
John Abraham, perfect job of maintaining your leverage on the quarterback. You've got a guy like Jake Plummer, who you know is a boot guy, you know was going to come out and pull the ball and is going to try to be free on that backside for a pass. That was excellent defensive discipline holding this team to a field goal.
Here is the 11th all-time leading scorer in NFL history, Jason Elam. A 26-yard try. Plummer puts down a high snap, and 3 more on the board for Denver, but the Jets defense did hold him out when it was 1st and goal at the 9.
They all need to get over there and get themselves some oxygen, though.
Two Denver possessions, 2 scores, but this is the developing story. Bollinger is on the bench throwing up. We're told a concussion perhaps on the Jet sideline from their staff, and thus the 19-year veteran Vinny Testaverde sets to come in. He's been battling a calf and an Achilles injury. And the kickoff to Justin Miller inside the 5-yard line. He fumbles the ball. It's loose inside the 20-yard line. The Broncos think they've got it. And we have not seen an official declaration from our crew. They continue to unravel the bodies at about the 18, and it is Denver's ball. The Broncos will have it, and for the second consecutive week, the young rookie kickoff return man, Justin Miller, has fumbled on a kickoff. He did it last week in Carolina. He does it this week in Denver, and things spiraling quickly downward for the Jets in this one. That is Mount Bethel here in the Rockies. We're in Denver with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. The Jets just fumbled on a kickoff return. Denver begins. 18 of the Jets, 1st and 10.
Well, so far 33 plays and 19 minutes of possession so far for this Denver Broncos offense on 2 possessions.
The Jets had their starting defense out there. Bella's in the backfield. Now he empties it. 1st and 10, 18 for Plummer. Pocket crumbling. Here goes Jake Plummer on the fly. A block from his tight end, Steven Alexander. He gets a block downfield from Bell, and he's inside the 5 and belted by Abraham. They'll mark him near the 2. A weaving run of 16 yards by the quarterback, 30-year-old Jake Plummer.
You want a taste of why these Denver fans love this quarterback, Jake Plummer? Came here as a free agent, has learned to discipline his passing, and hasn't lost the ad-lib. Hasn't lost the fire or the ability to get out and make defenses pay with his feet.
Legree has come in for Abraham on the line.
And there's no slide to this guy either. He's going for the goal line.
Anderson is in the backfield for the Broncos, and a timeout taken by the Jets. The defense has been on the field most of the game. I can see why in this high altitude they're calling it. 4.5 to play in the half. The Jets fumbled on a kickoff. Broncos took over at the 18. Plummer just scrambled for 16. Now they're at the 1, 1st and goal.
Be very careful if you're the Jets of play action, specifically that fullback Johnson, number 39, coming out of the backfield.
There are 2 tight ends, and there are 5 defensive linemen, including Legree on the defensive line for the Jets. Mike Anderson looking for his 2nd touchdown today, and he's got it. Another 1-yard touchdown run by Anderson.
That's a great job on the backside of that offensive line. Ben Hamilton and Matt Lepsis on the left side just cave things in. Alexander, the backside tight end, turns out John Abraham. That sets up the window for Anderson to score in. Another great example. It's technique, it's coordinated effort, it's very, very nice blocking by the Denver Broncos line.
So the Broncos cash in on the fumbled kickoff return by the rookie Miller. The extra point by Elam makes it 17-0. First place Denver shutting out the New York Jets. 3 possessions and 3 Broncos scores. They're rolling. They've got Dallas in their sights on Thanksgiving in Texas with 4:26 in the first. Denver scored every time they've had the ball today. Mike Anderson with 2 1-yard touchdown runs. Jets have had it twice, punting both times. Their 3rd possession upcoming.
And as we were saying last time Sauerbrunn was kicking, we're getting ready to see Vinny Testaverde at quarterback for the New York Jets.
Kickoff return is not a possession. And so Miller will leave it in the end zone here. He fumbled the last time. So from the 20-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10 for Vinny Testaverde. He just turned 42. Timeout. Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. Testaverde has taken over. The touchback on the kickoff, 1st and 10. Blocked by Gregg, in time for Testaverde, who hits McCarrons, who is at the 35. He was tackled by Foxworth. It's a gain of 16, and it's a New York Jet first down to the 36-yard line. Marco Coleman is on the defensive line, along with Dimitrin Veal and Ekuban for the Jets. Fumbling right there. Denver jumped on the ball. It's another turnover for New York. It was reeled in by Nick Ferguson. It's the 2nd turnover. And this one will be claimed at about the 33-yard line as Testaverde had a bad exchange with Kendall.
This is a nightmare for the Jets, and the bad news is you're not waking up for a couple hours. The most fundamental thing in football is a center-quarterback exchange, and this one is terrible between Kendall and Testaverde. It was started this season in the opening game in Kansas City with Kevin Mawai, and it hasn't gotten much better.
1st and 10. It's a little pass, a screen pass to Tatum Bell, who is brought down by James Reed, 27-yard line, gain of 5.
And Herm Edwards says, you know, for the first time in my career as a coach, I do this every single day. I've got my guys after practice, my centers and quarterbacks, taking snaps. And you take that for granted, but You know, in the opener, it was snap exchanges at the line, snap exchanges on the shotgun. In general, injuries and mistake-wise, this has been a nightmare year for the Jets.
Cornell Green is coming at the right tackle. Second down and 5. Tatum Bell. And Abraham is in there with Reed. The gain is to about the 26 and a gain of 2.
And the worst thing about having those exchange problems, Kevin, is it causes hesitations. Not only for the quarterback, but for the line and for the rest of the offense. And that's the one thing you're not seeing out of Jake Plummer on the other side of the ball. And the Denver Broncos offense is any kind of hesitation, any kind of, pause. Brooks Bollinger's out of this game now with a head injury, and Pete Kendall's got the bad snap on the last play, and Jake Plummer and company haven't missed a beat.
6 in the secondary. Straight and Celestin come in. 3rd and a long 3. The ball is officially at the 27-yard line. The back of the ball touching the 27. Timeout taken by Denver. They burn their first of the half, leading 17-0 on 2 Anderson touchdown runs. Denver called a timeout moments ago. Brooks Bollinger was helped off the field. He is done for the day with a concussion. So at the 27-yard line, 3rd and 3.
This is the 6th 3rd and short for the Denver Broncos.
6 in the secondary for the Jets. Ryan Thomas has come in on their defensive line. There are 2 tight ends in there, and this is Bell weaving his way into the grasp of Vilma. He's got a first down, gain of 5 at the 20-yard line.
And when you're this kind of an offense and you're operating with this sort of a feel and this sort of a confidence in front of an offensive line that is doing this good a job opening up the holes, you're absolutely fearless when it comes to 3rd and short. A lot of offenses tighten up in 3rd and short. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, like the 6 instances that the Broncos have had. These guys thrive. They live for that kind of challenge.
2 Jet fumbles deep in their own territory. Another opening for the Broncos, who lead it after scoring on every series so far today. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Broncos have it for a 4th time because of another Jets turnover. Look at that, 28 of 37 in Jets territory.
It's dominance in blue so far here in Denver.
There are 2 tight ends for the Broncos. They empty the backfield with Bell. A 4-3-4 Jet defense. And Plummer caught by Bell. Flag is thrown. Touchdown, I believe. Did he cross?
He might have stepped out of bounds and been the first person to touch the ball afterwards.
Perhaps he was. I think you're right. The hat is off, which usually means the guy was out of bounds. Good call.
Pretty sure he got contacted and was knocked out of bounds. He lined up at the near wide receiver position.
And to mark it, the official always takes off his cap and throws it on the chalk.
Yep.
This would be the first penalty against the Broncos today.
Yeah, he was going against Ty Law, and Ty Law actually chucks him out of bounds.
The illegal touching by the receiver, number 26, went out of bounds, came back, and was the first to touch the ball. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Lines up in the bottom of the screen against Ty Law right here. Okay, right there in the middle. Watch the contact. Right there. He's out of bounds. He is out of bounds right there. Then continues up the field. Catches the ball. Perfect call by the official.
1st and 15, 25. Adams is the 3rd Denver receiver. Straight and Celestin, the extra 2 defensive backs for the Jets, numbering 6. And this is Bell with the block by Cornell Green and tackle by Brian Thomas. Flag is down. At the 25, the gain was down to about the 23.
Holding, 50. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Well, they've gone from dominance in blue to reverse in blue.
Right. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
Kevin, in Cincinnati, it's a shootout. They just keep throwing. Peyton Manning to Dallas Clark for 56 yards. It sets up a 1-yard. Edgerrin James, touchdown. Indianapolis leads the Bengals 28-17. Still 7 minutes to play in the first half.
And James, who is the NFL's 2nd leading rusher with his 9th rushing touchdown of the season.
I don't know if Cincinnati is mature enough to be mentally strong to stay with the big teams in this league. They're very physically challenged, are very physically talented. but I think mentally they're very immature.
1st and 25. The penalty pushes him back to the 35. Smith in motion, one of 3 Denver receivers, including Adams, and there's a pass outside, which was read perfectly by the rookie Kerry Rhodes. It's a gain of 6 by Rod Smith. They mark him at the 29-yard line.
And this is the first opportunity that this Jets defense has really had to take a deep breath. Thanks to the first 2 mistakes that really Denver has made offensively, the defense has had a chance to really get Denver moving in the backwards direction.
They're still operating with 6 defensive backs. Is Herm Edwards' defense. 2nd and 19 at the 29. 3rd receiver continues to be Adams, who played at Hofstra. 45 starts at Hofstra University. The pass outside is caught by Lee, who was grabbed by Derek Strait. Lee, the all-time leading receiver in the University of Hawaii football program. A gain of 7 down to the 22.
It bears mentioning, too, in warm-ups, Jason Elam, the kicker for the Denver Broncos, was limping around a little bit. Seemed to pull something a little bit or be hampered. See him stretching a little on the sideline there, and he's going to have to come in here probably and kick a field goal of moderate length.
Ryan Thomas remains the only non-starter on the defensive line for New York. 3rd and 12. They need the 10. Plummer, good block by Lepsis. That's caught by Lee, who is whacked by Oliver Celestin. The gain is to the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 15 on 3rd and 12. Plummer wants a timeout. 1st and goal for the Denver Broncos. They burn their 2nd timeout of the first half.
Giving plenty of pad on the other side. There's Rod Smith working against Ty Law.
7th play of the drive coming up.
1 timeout left. Empty backfield for the Broncos.
Broncos have 4 receivers. There are 6 defensive backs for the Jets. Plummer looks into all that congestion. He's already had 1 run today for 17 yards. Throws in the end zone here, and it's incomplete, although a great-looking one-handed grab was made for the undrafted Charlie Adams. It'll be 2nd and goal.
That was an excellent job by the Jets defense. They had a bunch formation on the right side. You had 3 receivers. Adams was one of those 3 receivers. And the Jets defense just stoned them as they were coming off the line of scrimmage. There was nowhere for Jake Plummer to go onside.
Trevor Johnson, Robertson, and Brian Thomas, along with Ellis, the 4 defensive linemen. 6 in the secondary for the Jets. 2nd and goal at the 6. 4 receivers remain for Plummer. He fires down low, and it's caught at the 1-yard line with a tackle made by Derek Strait on Charlie Adams. A gain of 5, and Denver burns their final first half timeout with 3 seconds to play in the half. There are 3 seconds remaining. It is 3rd and goal. They're lining up, the Broncos are, to kick 3.
I would be safe if I was the Jets defense here. You've got Steven Alexander at the right up back. Jake Plummer is the holder. You sell out, and now the Broncos bring the offense onto the field. They're going to go for it.
So with 3 seconds remaining and the field goal unit on the field, now yanked off the field and the offense put back on, the Jets will likewise change and put their starting defensive line on the field.
Timeout, Jets.
And the Jets wisely will take a timeout. And now they have 1 remaining. Game of chess continuing late in the first half, with the Denver Broncos trying to score again. We're back in Denver. A timeout just taken by the Jets after the Broncos appeared to be kicking a field goal. Then they brought their offense back out there, and they're going to try to punch it in.
Mike Shanahan, if he wants one thing out of his 7-2 football team, he wants them to learn how to put people away. And this is giving your football team a chance with another game in 4 days to put the Sunday opponent away in the first half.
There are 3 defensive backs. There are 5 on the defensive line. It is 3rd and goal at the 1. Anderson in the backfield, puts here, one of the 2 tight ends, and Plummer chased by Robertson. Out of bounds, incomplete. The Jets hold, no flags. It is 4th down, and the clock showing 0. We're at halftime. So New York holds.
Another excellent job in goal line situation by the Jets defense. Nowhere for Jake Plummer to go, and he sure as heck can't run it.
Mike Anderson with 2 one-yard touchdown runs. The first place Denver Broncos shutting out the Jets, who have lost 4 straight on the road, 17-0.